Alright, hey guys, coming at you today with a video on how to do a kitchen backsplash. I have a pretty simple one here. I've got these 8x3 tiles, marble, really good looking stuff. We're going to be doing just a backsplash just on this back wall here of my kitchen. All the way down. So I'm going to show you guys kind of the process and what we're going to do. I got a drop cloth down protecting the stove and the countertops while we're working. I am not a tile guy, but I am an assistant project manager for a licensed home builder, and I am around this stuff all day, every day. So I'm going to show you how I do it, and I'm going to do it just like I see the tile guy do it every day, but every tile guy might do a little differently. But anyways, I hope this helps if you're planning on doing this yourself. So let's get started. First thing, we're gonna take these outlet covers off and pull the outlets out. Careful not to shock yourself. And then we're gonna start lay out the tile, and then we're gonna work our way down from there. And so here we go. Alright, so we've got it this far. Some of the trickiest part is cutting the stone around the outlet. That's kind of tricky whether you're using porcelain or stone. Porcelain is a lot easier to cut, but tile is very difficult, especially with the angle grinder, which is what I'm using. If you can use a tile saw, that's the best thing for stone, but I only have access to an angle grinder right now, so that's what I'm using. But anyway, you can still get it done and learn how to do it. Alright, we're almost done. Just another 4 or 5 more pieces. The trickiest part is down here at the bottom. We screwed a small board underneath these pieces to hold them up when we set them, but now they're dry. But for these bottom pieces, I'm having to put screws underneath to hold them up. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Okay, so we got the backsplash, the tile all set. And I went down to right here, this tile, because with the stove scoot back, you can see to like right here. You can't see it lower. So obviously if you could have seen all the way down, I would have done it more, but it doesn't matter. Normally what you want to do here is you want to take a board and screw it in the wall from there to there. I didn't really have anything, so I just used screws to hold up this tile, and that's going to be the tricky part. But I would recommend, again, so starting here, maybe put a board and then do the math, measure down, put a board here, you know, have enough to support, because when you put the mastic, the tile glue, when you put it on, it'll kind of sink a little bit if there's no support underneath it. So anyway, so now we're gonna do the grout. So basically follow the instructions on whatever grout you buy. I'm gonna mix it in a small bucket, and then I'm gonna use this trowel. This is like a grout trowel. I don't know exactly what this is made out of. It's like a rubbery, foamy type thing, but anyways, I'll show you in the video. We'll just put it in the grout and just smear it on the tile, and it goes pretty fast. But just be careful, you don't want to like get it on your painted wall, or if you get on the cabinet, wipe it off because it will stain and leave a mess. But yeah, so make sure you got your drop cloth down and you should be good to go. You want to take a little bit of grout. I mean, it depends. If you're doing like a floor, you can use a lot of grout, but on the wall it's harder for me at least, so I use a smaller bit. And then you just you smear it in the cracks and then wipe it off the tile, because this thing will wipe off the tile. Keep going like that, and don't worry if you get it on your countertop or something, because it will wipe up. It's not gonna stain it forever, but don't let it dry obviously on there. So just keep wiping it off as you go. And then after you do a small section, and if you get a tricky section like this corner, you might have to just put some on your hand and wipe it on there yourself. Kind of like caulk. And there's also, depending on what color of grout you buy, you can also buy caulk that matches the color of grout. But anyways, so once you get your caulk on there, you need to have a grout sponge. This costs $2 at Lowe's or Home Depot, and you gotta wipe the grout off of the tile. Don't worry, it's not gonna pull the grout out of the joints, but you gotta keep your tile clean. I mean, maybe like there, see, I did actually wipe some out of that joint, but I'll put some more in there. But anyways, keep it clean. And you'll have to go over it like 10 times. This I've probably gone over a couple times already, and there's still white powder on it. So you take a clean side of the sponge and just keep cleaning. Just clean it over and over again. But anyways, so, and then wash your sponge frequently. That's another what you gotta do. So anyways, that's what we're doing. Alright, so here is the finished product. Well, almost finished product. We do have to put the sealer on to seal the stone, because with marble it's very porous, and like any food that you get on it from the oven or from the stove while you're cooking, like tomato sauce or something, would stain it really bad. The marble would soak it in. So we'll put a sealer on there to seal the grout in the face of the tile, and that will keep food and stains from getting on it and make it easier to clean. I am gonna install some under cabinet lights in here. Not sure if I'm gonna do a video yet or not about that, but yeah. So just make sure you take your sponge and you get the tiles clean. There still will be, I don't know if you see my fingers, but they're a little dusty. Maybe once this all dries tomorrow, we'll come back and clean the dust off before we seal, so the dust doesn't get sealed in. Another tip, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but when you do your outlets, take a piece of tape and wrap it around the outlet, covering the screws so you don't shock yourself while you're working in and around it, because you will be working in and around it. And then you could use spacers, outlet spacers, but for me the easy thing was to just run the tile up to where it's right next to the screw and the outlet, and then I'll get longer screws, and then the bottom of that tile will hold my outlet flush with the front. But also, I mean, they make outlet spacers for that too, but you will need longer screws typically for your outlets after you do this. Or if this is like a new construction, maybe sometimes they'll put adjustable depth boxes in there, but that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of fancy. I don't really see that very often, and I build really nice homes. That's all I can think of for now, but we'll put some pictures in here at the end when we have the under cabinet lights so you can see it really well. So these are your spacers, tile spacers. I use 3/32 or 2mm spacers. They got two sides. It's got like a square or you can just use this side for one if you don't have a cross joint. And there's other different style spacers you can use for mastic. This is what I used. This came from Lowe's. This is just a regular, it says premium mortar for tile and stones. It's just a tile and mortar, ready to use, pretty easy. This is good for backsplash. You can use it for showers and floors, but most guys will use thin set for that, which comes in a bag and you mix. But for backsplash, that stuff's just fine. The grout. Here's the grout. I use unsanded, and the color I used was light almond. Grout's pretty cheap, like 12 bucks maybe. And then I will show you when I seal it. We'll show you what sealer we use. I actually need to go to the store and get it. Thought I had some, but I don't have what I need. So anyways, and then if you were wondering, over here, hard to see because of the shadows, but I went down far enough to where when the fridge is pushed back, you can't see anymore. So just to keep it looking nice. But yeah, we're almost done. We'll put the outlet covers back on after we seal it. Alright, 24 hours have gone by since we did the grout, and it honestly looks really good. We've cleaned it quite a few times with the sponge. So now it's time to seal it. Still got all our drop cloths down and stuff. Now it's time to seal it with the sealer. We've got this 511 whatever sealer impregnator. So I guess it goes through the tile, goes into the tile in the grout and seals it like that. So the directions on here basically are to put it on. They sell an applicator, but I'm cheap. I didn't want to buy it. I already had a paintbrush. I'm just going to use a paintbrush. I'm going to brush everything on, and then we're going to wait 5 minutes, and then in 5 minutes, then start wiping off the first thing I wiped on and do like that. If you get too much in the sealer, it dries on and gets stuck on there. You can always come back, add more sealer to make it wet again, and do it that way. But anyways, about to put the sealer on, and then we'll see you guys later. Alright, it is about a week later, and finally I got my under cabinet lights in and the backsplash done. So it looks really good. It turned out really great. Cool project. I hope you guys were able to learn a few things from my video, and I hope you are inspired to try this on your own, and I wish you the best of luck on that. Thanks for watching.